I'm Zenon Thornton, FCA staff member in Richland, Washington. Workout number 9, arrested. Let me take us to Matthew chapter 26, verses 57 to 68. Those who had arrested Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders had convened. Peter was following him at a distance, right to the high priest's courtyard. He went in and was sitting with the servants to see the outcome. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false testimony against Jesus so that they could put him to death. But they could not find any, even though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, 2 who came forward stated, "This man said, I can destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days." The high priest stood up and said to him, "Don't you have an answer to what these men are testifying against you?" But Jesus kept silent. The high priest said to him, "I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." "You have said it," Jesus told him. "But I tell you, in the future you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his robes and said, "He is blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? See, now you've heard the blasphemy. What's your decision?" They answered, "He deserves death." Then they spat in his face and beat him. Others slapped him and said, "Prophesy to us, Messiah. Who was it that hit you?" As Jesus was brought before the Sanhedrin, this assembly of people got 2 testimonies they needed to convict, because individual testimonies were considered invalid. Even though what they said was true, they completely misunderstood what Jesus meant, or rather, what his resurrection would mean. But rather than clarify what he meant to avoid what was coming, he stayed silent. In Isaiah 53:7, some 700 to 800 years earlier, we read this prophecy. "He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, and like a sheep silent before his shearers, he did not open his mouth." The word lamb is significant because lambs were used in the offering made on what's called the Day of Atonement, when Israel fasted, cleansed the sanctuary of impurity, and dealt with their sin through blood rituals. You get the frustration that Jesus experienced when the religious leaders of this day and how they turned the sanctuary into a den of thieves. These were the people then looking to put Christ to death. Lambs were also sacrificed on Passover, which was that very day that the Lamb of God, as John referred to Jesus, would be sacrificed as a blood ritual for our sin. What the Sanhedrin received as blasphemy, claiming authority that belongs to God alone, was a crime to which the punishment, according to Levitical law, was death. So as our story continues, here in the 26th chapter of Matthew, you will move through a 26-minute AMRAP with a partner, as it was 2 witnesses coming forward that provided validation to the testimonies against Jesus. This will also be a waterfall-style workout as Peter followed Jesus at a distance to see what would happen to him. The complaint of Jesus was tied to his claim of rebuilding the temple in 3 days, therefore a triplet. And you will stay quiet during this workout, as Jesus did while he was being accused.